In addition to the fixed expiration features offered, Deribit now offers a perpetual swap contract. Available on the top left of the screen in the main menu under BTC Futures, the different contracts are selectable in the center of the screen with perpetual swaps on the left. For the purposes of this video, I'll set up a quick sub-account to isolate a certain amount of margin for a position. This is done via account and sub-accounts on the left. With a new sub-account created, I can fund it via transfer, just above sub-accounts. Now that it's funded, I can go back to sub-accounts and check the new sub-account is selected and active. Using a sub-account with isolated margin might mean that your position is liquidated sooner, but it also limits the maximum loss of a position or a strategy. Now, instead of a fixed expiration where your position will be closed when the contract expires and the trader must account for factors such as time premium, a perpetual contract could, in theory, be held forever. The price of the perpetual is kept close to the level of the Deribit Bitcoin index by funding payments that will either be paid by or to you while you hold a position open. If the perpetual is trading below the Bitcoin index, the funding rate is negative and open sell or short positions pay the funding amounts to open buy or long positions. This will make a short position less interesting and a long position more interesting, and this should move the price of the perpetual back to the index. If the perpetual is trading above the index, we have a positive funding rate with open buy or long positions paying the short positions. Be aware that if the difference between the mark price and the index is less than 0.05%, either way, the funding rate will be zero. Funding payments are calculated on a microsecond basis as a time fraction of the 8 hours funding rate that is shown in the interface here, and the amounts are then added or taken away from your realized profit and loss. As an example, I am opening a long position using a limit order for the fee rebate. With the present negative funding rate, I would get paid on my limit order via the maker fee structure and by the funding rate. A double reward, so to speak, to help bring the market back in balance. I will leave this trade open for roughly a minute and close the position. While we wait for our limit order to be filled, above the real-time funding rate readout is a small chart icon. Clicking it will show an expanded and more detailed chart of the funding rate, both present and historically. Our limit order has been filled. By mousing over the session realized profit and loss in the position tab, you can see the realized funding included in the position so far. The position is now closed and we can view our trade over in transaction log under account. On our closing trade, the funding received or paid during the position is visible in this column and added to our realized profit and loss of the trade. Like profits and losses from price movements, these amounts are added to the account equity and are available to be withdrawn on daily account settlement at 0800 UTC. For the funding formula itself, please refer to the documentation section of the Deribit website. This was a brief supplementary video guide for perpetual swaps. For instructions on how to trade futures and options with Deribit, please see the video guide in the video description below.